James, is that you making all that noise?
All that ruckus.
Are you adjusting another sock?
No, I'm not. I don't have a sock over this one.
James had.
So,
That was all James was wearing. He had to take it off. And put it on there.
But not where you'd think.
Right.
did it sound like this?
Yeah, kinda.
Were you listening to your heartbeat?
I don't know, like, I'm sitting here relaxing.
Apparently his
moving
heartbeat
around.
is like trying to be trance music.
How does somebody do that? That's amazing.
What?
What just happened? Did you not hear
That was me and James.
Yep.
It was both of us.
That was.
For a second, I thought it was all Eric. Then I'm like, no, James is joining too. I'm like, that is a good sound you guys got going.
Yeah.
Want to ring the bell?
I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I'm a loner, Daddy. Rebel.
I am the walrus.
Okay, so I found the perfect movie, but sadly it's not on Netflix. So I'm just gonna say something about it. It's called Water Wars.
Water Wars?
Water Wars. Wars. W-A-R-S. It is a little bit the Amazons meet Mad Max. That seems to come around. This post-apocalyptic world where, water is so, limited that it's, practically, money, commodity itself. And it's terribly bad. It's got Michael Madsen in it.
Ooh, that's always a sign of high quality.
It's so you know how they did the Grindhouse movies and they purposely made it look gritty and shitty.
Yeah.
I don't think they intended, but that's the way it came out. Because there are scenes that are
Like the really bad cuts,
like
cutting
really
in the
bad
middle.
cuts, really
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
like the cinematography, the actual scene itself. Obviously, they use a myriad of cameras, so you have really lower quality,
Oh, nice.
and then ones that are like HD,
So like when they're
it's
getting coverage, it's like really bad.
priceless.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I so wish it was on Netflix because I skipped through it. And I'm like, I have to get some people together and watch this, and then I'm like, Netflix. Oh man,
That is one of the sad things is that when you find that movie that isn't on
that's
your
perfect.
service.
But yeah,
I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
It sounds
So-
perfect for Netflix too.
it does. It does. Apparently, though, Michael Madsen puts that one step above their normal. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm ready to go for Ravenous here. I'm Ravenous.
Okay,
I'm
well,
feeling Ravenous.
let's start with the introductions. Hi, everybody. My name is John. This is Jon Hates Movies. Today we have with us Chelsea Johnson.
Hello.
We have Eric Largent,
Tally ho.
Chris Arsenault,
What's a hoe? What's a tally?
and James Barrup.
Heyo!
Yes. So that's everybody. This is the podcast where my friends make us watch movies and we talk about how we feel deep inside.
You make
bottom
it
of
sound
our
like
heart.
the whole thing is so forced.
Really?
Like, no, I come home, they bushwhack me, they tie me up in a chair, they pull the
Screen down.
the screen down,
Well, it's
tape
like
your eyelids open,
right. From,
ultraviolence.
yeah.
Ultraviolence.
Well, I
Yeah,
I'm
I couldn't
not-
think of Clockwork Orange.
Right, that's why I was trying to think of too. I couldn't think of Clockwork Orange either.
I'm not a super fan of a lot of films, hence the title of the podcast. We are breaking a little bit out of the mold today, though. We're talking about, second episode breaking. We guess we don't really have a mold yet, but we have been talking, or we're going to be talking about Ravenous, which is actually a movie that I very much enjoy.
Oh, see,
Which
John, I
really
think-
sets a weird standard.
Well, no, me and you are on like opposite sides because there were a lot of things I really didn't like about this.
Okay, so
Really?
today we're going to call
All
this
right.
Eric Hates Movies.
Let's do it.
Just give me 1 second here so that I can go ahead and give the movie a proper introduction.
Yep.
So, as before, everything that we watch is on Netflix Instant Streaming, so you can follow along at home if you'd like. And this particular movie, Netflix gives it a 3 3/4 star, which is fairly decent for Netflix.
Out of 5.
Out of 5, yeah.
Because, if we're doing the IMDb score, that's shit.
I've never seen a 5
It's out of 10.
star. I've never seen
IMDb
a
is out of 10. Netflix is 5.
Yeah, I've never seen a Netflix 5-star movie, and I'm kind of curious what that would look like.
Yeah.
So
I'm very curious
Interesting.
myself, but I have seen like high
I've never
fours.
seen a Netflix 1-star movie. I would like to see what that
You
looks
haven't?
like.
That would
I'm
be
pretty-
terrible.
No.
I
I
mean,
think we have a goal for upcoming movies.
do you guys want to know what?
Wow,
Do you guys want to know what this was on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, what was
What
it?
was it?
40%.
that
No.
sounds right.
Really?
Rotten.
Only 40?
Yep.
Though I can't trust Rotten Tomatoes. So it always seems like I disagree with them.
Is Mr. Grumpy
It's an
still a
aggregator,
thing?
though.
Well,
Is what?
it just means
Mr.
I
Grumpy?
disagree with most people.
I don't know about Mr. Grumpy.
Then he's probably not a thing anymore. I used to read him a while ago. Maybe that's not even his name. It's been that long. But anyway, about Ravenous, the premise of the movie is in 19th century California. Soldiers at an army outpost treat an injured man who tells them horrific tales of resorting to cannibalism while stranded. You really wonder who writes these damn things. I mean,
That's like one part in the
Well, that's just the
long
open.
movie.
You
That's the
can't give
opening.
it all
Well,
away.
yeah, you give the basis
that's
of
like-
it, so then it's a surprise still.
That's the turn at the first act. That's it.
And
it
well,
is-
you can't say it's about a guy who's pretending to be a victim of rage of a cannibalistic thing, and then tricks the people so he can eat them too. Is that really a good way to describe a movie? Because you kind of gave it all away.
Well, I mean, the
James.
synopsis isn't necessarily supposed to give it all away, but
I
I'd say,
think
okay,
that's a pretty good thing.
I would say it is about a disgraced Civil War vet who is placed
Mexican American War.
who is placed at a remote outpost and then gets tangled up in a web of cannibalistic intrigue.
Okay, that's good.
Cannibalistic intrigue.
Yeah, I know.
I like
Intrigue.
that.
Honestly, the way that the synopsis is written,
It's
about
intriguing that this doesn't actually taste like chicken.
I will say the way that the synopsis for this movie is written, it's like if you took the first Star Wars movie and said it's about a young boy who hires a rogue to take him into space.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, one of the most interesting things is that it actually has a serious amount of star power in this movie.
It does.
It's got
Yeah.
Guy Pearce, it's got Robert Carlyle. But what cracks me up is that this movie came out at a time when the two of them really weren't names yet.
Mhm.
And so they had to, in order to drum up interest, they had to give David Arquette one of the screen, one of the
Right. 'Cause
title credits.
to be fair, when was David Arquette ever really famous?
Just after
Right
Scream.
after
Right after
Scream.
Scream. Yeah.
Right. I say that again. When was David Arquette really famous?
When he was up on stage dancing with Bruce Springsteen.
That was Courtney Cox. the Hawk.
Oh, sorry. I get those two mixed up sometimes.
Right.
Courtney
I'm glad-
Cox,
Dancing in
I
the dark.
love you, Courtney Cox.
Okay.
Start a fire. You can't start a
Okay.
fire without
No
a
shit.
spark.
We all know the Carlton, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Carlton, when asked about the Carlton, he said, I just ripped that off of Courtney Cox in the Springsteen video.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It is.
Pretty brilliant.
Yep.
So who wants to go first? Who wants to tell us why they either love or dislike this movie?
Well, one of the things I didn't like about it happened right at the beginning of the movie.
Okay. The movie started. That's usually what sets me off.
No, for me, there was that the opening scene where they do the like the introduction or like a quote from Benjamin Franklin or somebody.
Yeah.
And then after it, it just goes, "Eat me." And I was like, okay, so is this going to be like a Goofy movie? Is this, and I feel like they did that. So this movie came out in 99,
Mm-hmm.
and in 98, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas came out. And I feel like it was the exact same kind of like quote, like at the beginning of the movie, Fear and Loathing, it says, "He who makes a beast out of himself, releases the burden of being a man." I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're copying that at the beginning of this, and then it just said "Eat me." I was like, oh, okay, so this is gonna be a silly movie because that's silly.
Well put.
Yes.
And this was not a silly movie. I've read reviews that said that it was a black comedy, but I didn't find much comedy in it at all.
Bits here and there, although I really forgot how goofy that beginning is. It felt very Monty Python to me.
Yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
and I did not remember that at all. I
Like-
just remembered all the gore in it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that seems really out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of miss. I missed the beginning a little bit just because of the way I was watching it.
Yeah, did you not watch the movie? Like, were you like doing something else?
I didn't watch necessarily the beginning because I was doing dishes, but
Okay.
James gives
You
I don't think
reviews while he does the
James-
dishes.
You
I
had
don't think
one
James grasped the
job.
concept of this.
Watch the fucking movie.
One
Watch
job.
the movie.
I watched 90% of the movie. I got at the tail end of the dishes, and then when I came in,
Didn't I make this
When I
comment
came
already?
in, were you in a different room?
Didn't I make this comment already? It's watching 90% of the movie, but missing the first 5. That the Memento
Oh,
example.
Yeah.
Did I say it right this time?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Another Guy Pearce movie.
Another Guy Pearce movie. You missed the first 5 minutes, and you have no idea what the fucking movie's actually about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no goddamn. Well, it makes limited fucking sense.
So speaking of Guy Pearce, Guy Pearce is a good actor.
I like
Guy
Guy
yes.
Pearce.
They didn't give him any room to do anything good
Nope.
in this movie. at
All they like, all right, make a facial expression where you look kind of afraid. Cool. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right, now you
Look
just got
pain.
stabbed. Facial expression. Moving on.
All right. And so also there were things that I liked about the movie. I'll get into those in a second. But another thing that is I just don't need to see it anymore. And I know this happened back in 99, but I don't need to see it anymore. Is somebody falling down like a mountain, snapping their leg, and I don't want to see compound fractures anymore. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I'm kind of with you on that. But...
It's happening in a lot of stuff. I don't want to see somebody's tibia. Don't want to see
Well,
it.
it shows how much of extreme pain they're in, but
Yeah.
how much of a badass they are because they kept going.
Well, in this, he was able to walk away. Like I
don't believe that at all.
Well,
he
no,
was
he
able
walked-
to walk
right
yeah,
because he ate his friend.
because he ate his friend.
Well, just saying.
I really like Jeremy Davies in this.
Yep.
I think he's great. And P.S. Me and Jeremy Davies have something in common. We're both from the same city in northern Michigan, Traverse City.
Oh,
So Jeremy Davies, who is that? Who did he play?
He was kind of
The
the
priest.
schmucky,
The priest.
Was he the priest?
Yeah.
he was.
The drunk?
Priest.
No,
No.
No.
one
He
of
was the one
first
that
ones
was
that
kind
died.
of
Like the
yeah.
really quiet,
Yeah.
mumbly
Oh,
guy.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he got wounded, then he got licked.
You're right.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
creepy.
Born Jeremy Davies Boring.
Oh,
That's his last name, Boring.
Boring.
That
poor
is a
bastard.
great last name. I would love to have that last
I
name
just had to share that because that's awesome.
because
He's a-
it totally sets all expectations. So if you're even
Yeah.
like the little bit, like just a tiny bit entertaining, you suddenly become the most entertaining guy in the world because your last name's boring.
You don't have a lot to. You got a lot of space to move up from there.
Exactly.
My
All the
middle
room in the world.
name is boring.
Oh my god, I should have named this the Boring Podcast. Then anything we say would be so good.
Well, we've already tried that with the Unbearable podcast.
Yeah.
If you can bear it, then it's
It's gonna be. It seems awesome.
All right. Hold on, I'm still going.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I really did like about this movie is the score, the soundtrack.
Yes.
It's very good. I will admit to being kind of influenced by that because I kind of read a little bit on Wikipedia about the movie before watching it, and I saw that it was Damon Albarn from Blur and the Gorillaz who did the soundtrack to the movie.
Yep.
Wow.
It was very good. That was probably, to me, that was the best thing about the movie is the score. And yeah, I don't think a bear trap is going to kill two nigh immortal.
That was a big
Cannibals.
fucking bear trap.
No, that's not.
But also, how embarrassing was it probably to be found that way? I'm lying on top of another dude in a bear trap. Let's just say we're kinky.
Yeah.
It's like ways you don't want to die and have your body found, right?
I'll just be happy if I go with clean underwear. I mean, I know that
You're
you
not
Wearing
gonna.
underwear,
Well, yeah, I know
hopefully.
you void yourself, but
Right.
it's like there's like levels, I'm pretty sure that if you're found, somebody's like, okay, this is natural, this is understandable, but this guy over here, yeah, he hasn't changed that shit in a week. There's no way he had that much
Gotcha.
in him. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Oh, I know I'm gonna die in 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes to get this enema off. Come on. I need to be empty. Empty. Think empty thoughts.
So while they did give Guy Pearce no room to breathe in the movie, Robert Carlyle was great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Carlyle was very excellent. My thing with Robert Carlyle, though, it seems like he's always playing the same fucking characters.
Well, he's got a
Not
pretty
true.
distinctive look. Like,
But he's
can't.
playing the same characters. He either plays the megalomaniacal, power-hungry, or the coward, or both, which is what he did in this, which is what he does in Once Upon a Time, which is what he... Right?
Don't forget
Full
Stargate
Monty.
Universe.
Full Monty and, like, say, Fahrenheit
451.
Formula 51.
Oh,
Formula 51
Okay.
are some of the few where he's, like, not that typical, where he's just more normal guy-ish. But
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I see a very common, track in, like, the characters he plays, and it's just like, okay, I've seen this way too many times. Granted, he did this before a lot of the other stuff he did. I'm just saying, like, oh, that was the other one, 28 Days.
So
Coward.
let me ask you a question, Chris, because I'm a little bit curious. So
later.
I'm always curious when people say this.
I'm not saying he doesn't do a really good job of it. I just, I'm
No,
like,
no, I
I
get
just
you.
feel like I've seen it before, and it,
It's just that a lot of people really, really like Willem Dafoe,
right?
and that guy has no range.
No,
That's
I mean,
true.
you cast Willem Dafoe, you're getting Willem Dafoe, which
Right.
is
well,
great.
okay. I guess for me, really, what this was is not so much that I'm attacking him for it. It was it shattered, the glass shattered. It
I
made me
see.
realize, so I'm pulling it out there. Or putting it
Gotcha.
out
Okay,
there.
so this
So
was this was
I
the straw
thought-
that broke the Robert Carlyle.
Exactly.
All right.
Robert Carlyle, you're my hero, but then I realized you were just a coward or a badass. Great.
So the last thing I'm going to say.
If this podcast has titles, that's the title for this episode.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, anyway, the last thing I'm going to say is I thought the directing and cinematography were very bad. Like I didn't like the way the movie looked at all, and like a lot of the editing was like felt pretty herky jerky, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
There's
So that's
some pretty awful jump cuts in this film.
Yeah.
Like Jurassic Park bad.
So anyway, that's my take. There were things about it that were good. This is
Wait, are we allowed to talk shit about Jurassic Park? Because I didn't think that was a thing. Not that I want to.
Hate it.
Because I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I fucking love Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. I watch Jurassic Park probably 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay, not to get off on a tangent, but I'm totally going to get off on a tangent here. This is one of the main reasons I hate that fucking movie. Is summed up in this scene. You have this really incredible tense scene where the stupid kid that nobody likes is climbing up an electrified fence that may go off they may turn the power back on in any second. Right?
Oh yes.
Somebody is counting. Maybe
the kid.
The kid is counting. Okay, I don't remember who is counting, but it's like 1.
He's like
two,
jump on 3. 1, 2.
Okay, right. At 2, they cut away. They cut away to a scene where I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, is like 5 minutes of Jeff Goldblum just talking about something.
No, I think in the middle of that, they cut to her hitting the main power.
I'm pretty sure it's 5 minutes of nothing. I'm pretty sure. But the point is, you don't cut away during that kind of a scene. You don't cut away ever.
You don't break the intensity?
He gets hit with the jolt and then flies off the fence, and he may be dead, and they cut away.
Okay, maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly then. Yeah. I'm probably remembering it incorrectly, but in my brain, I seem to recall, and I'm going to have to rewatch this because I'm pretty sure they cut away at 2.
Chris just pulled up Jurassic.
Okay.
Chris just pulled up Jurassic Park on his computer, and we're watching the scene right now.
Okay.
So
let me know.
So he's hanging.
The lights are blinking. The alarms are going.
Yeah, and now we got to cut away.
Now it cuts away to the grandfather and Malcolm. It's still on.
This may have to get edited.
Yes, this will probably get edited. But
there we go. There he goes.
Yeah, that was the only interruption was before they started building the intensity because they had to tell her what to do with the electrical panel. Then it starts doing the whole thing, counting down. Then he gets shocked off the fence. But yeah, I could have cared less if he died. I guess that makes me a person.
I'm going to cut this whole thing out because I don't like being wrong.
That is totally fair. That is totally fair.
No, but I swear to God, I remember that completely differently because I remember.
Maybe it turns out you actually like Jurassic Park.
No, I'm pretty sure I don't.
Holy fucking shit!
Shut up.
Ninja T-Rexes doesn't make any sense.
All right, so let me wrap up my my review. I was saying, dickweeds.
I'm Eric, and I have important things to say. So shut the fuck up.
That's right.
Thank you.
Continue. This isn't.
Please
fuck off. This isn't really the kind of movie I would ever seek out. And yeah, didn't like it.
Okay.
So that's with his comment that this is a movie that he would not willingly seek out. I think I actually did when this first came out. I willingly tried to see this movie and had whatever reason, back in the day, I couldn't find it to rent or whatever, and then later on, trying to find it on streaming or other ways to get movies as to watch them in ways. I always got really, really bad versions of it. So this is the first time this is actually
oh, there's a good version.
Yeah, Eric, I'm surprised you didn't know that. There's
right. So long story short, this is the first time I actually got to actually watch the movie. And as someone who actually tried to see this movie before, I was actually really disappointed.
All right, so Chris, give me your review. We're just moving to Chris here.
Here's the thing. I am a huge Guy Pearce fan. I think he's a really good actor, and I agree. He got to really do nothing here.
Nothing.
It was a really cool story. I liked the story. It's not necessarily something you've really heard before. I mean.
It was like the Donner Party, but with supernatural powers.
Yeah, it was awesome. Robert Carlyle, like I said,
I have heard that.
Robert Carlyle, like we said,
the look of confusion on Eric's face.
Robert Carlyle was
I
really
agree
good.
with
I
Chris,
liked
that is
him.
awesome.
It was great. David Arquette shouldn't have been in the film. He was useless. The only character that honestly I really liked was Private Reich, played by Neil McDonough. Because I like that actor.
Yeah.
He's awkwardly super blonde, and it doesn't seem to make sense.
Well, but he also
His crazy eyes.
Crazy eyes, and he always is like, "I'm gonna fuck shit up." That's like,
Well,
that's
what
the
about
character-
Principal? What about
That's who he
Principal
always
Rooney?
plays.
Yeah, I was gonna get to him. He was the he was the most human character in the entire film.
that's true.
Right. Well,
Because
he's amazing.
he got kind of manipulated into becoming what he became, and then tried to repent. He actually went through like a full journey in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He actually went through all of that. Whereas even Guy Pearce's character, the reality is he wasn't looking to, make things right as much as he was looking to kill Robert Carlyle's character like hell, And as I said before, what an awkward way to be found dead. Other than that, I can't quite speak to the editing cinematography because I guess in my mind that's not really what was jumping out at me is what bothered me the most. I certainly I guess there were a lot of things that just kind of bothered me, like story wise, with or the way they had the characters kind of die off and other shit, and I was disappointed, but I don't know. It was an okay movie. I certainly wouldn't bother watching it again, and I think that it is a grasp, giving it 3 3/4 stars. It would be at least a 3.
Damn.
Because it did have and this is not because of the quality of it, but because it had actors I liked, which is a thing for me.
Yeah.
It had a decent story, and I don't know, honestly, the end fight was fucking ridiculous, though. Just stupid ridiculous.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that.
But other than that, like I said, I'll admit, it was a okay movie. I don't regret watching it. I just would not go watch it again. If someone's like, "Hey, I haven't seen Ravenous. I'd like to watch that," I'd be like, "Go ahead. I'm gonna leave."
Out.
Wow.
Okay.
I feel like I have
Chelsea-
to come in and
So
defend this movie
Chelsea,
now.
John liked it, but you liked it too, right?
Yeah, I want to
did,
hear why
did,
Chelsea
and
liked
I still do after seeing it a second time. I'm not sure I would post online that it's the best now after watching it again. It had been probably 5 years since I've seen this. But I really like the music. I love the score to it.
Music's really good, yeah.
Music's really good.
I also really just don't. I mean, music seemed okay. It did not stand out in my head, so I really
seen-
can't say
it was
good
really
or bad
unique.
on it.
It was
I
That's it. It's the kind of thing where after watching the movie, I would still hear the music the next day. I still have that in my head. I
Okay.
think as a cult horror movie, it's great. It's really
Yeah,
goofy.
it's much more into that
Yeah.
classification.
Yeah.
What, you were saying it was supposedly listed as a dark comedy, and I agree. I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a couple moments. There's one where Robert Carlyle's character is with the priest, I think, and he's totally petrified, and he's just run. What
Yeah,
are you doing?
yeah.
It's got a couple moments like that, but I think as a scary movie, I don't know, it hits the right points occasionally, when Guy Pearce is fighting him and he sits up. And...
Yeah, it's definitely the horror suspense.
Yeah, there are things that I
But
wouldn't have expected.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice the editing at all, really.
Well.
I believe you that it's terrible. It's not something that jumps out to me, so maybe that's part of it.
Honestly,
that doesn't bring it
I
down
want
for
to,
me.
and I could totally be wrong, but I swear when I was watching it, just coming back to the music thing, that I swear there were points where the music seemed horribly inappropriate.
Yeah, there are.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
There are.
not just okay, because I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's what I could remember, and you guys are saying it's brilliant. I'm like, maybe the music itself is brilliant, but I'm like, Am I remembering this wrong? But it didn't necessarily appropriate.
There are definitely
okay.
parts
It
All right.
didn't fit
Thank
at
you.
all.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was starting to go crazy when both of you were just talking like the soundtrack is amazing. I'm like,
I'm taking crazy
I
pills.
feel like they do
It's
that
not
on
the first
purpose,
time
though.
I
yeah,
felt
I'm
crazy.
with Chelsea on this. I think
Maybe
that was done
that's
on
more in the
purpose.
realm of where it's trying to lean to the comedy
Yeah.
aspect, and that's what I was
Really?
wondering. Maybe there was just throwing in the weird juxtaposition between the music and the odd cuts and just super stuff. Maybe that was kind of where they were aiming for with like, all right, let's kind of get people off the just straight horror and like, oh, this is kind of campy.
Well, I mean, they did that the second the movie opens.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe they're really trying. I still never saw it as a dark comedy at all. That was. I keep interrupting. I apologize.
No,
Go ahead.
that's okay. That's okay. The only other things I was gonna say is that I really forgot how gruesome the movie is.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I don't handle very well. So the part where he breaks his leg, I
Right.
put it on mute because I'm like, I cannot listen to this. I started watching it like last night, and I got through about half of it, and I'm like, okay, I cannot watch this right before I go to bed. So I watched the rest of it this morning because I forgot about that, and I love the ending when Martha finds them. Like, I love her character overall, but at the end when she finds
Or
them,
she
and
just
like
kinda
walks
sees it.
right out.
Fuck it. Yeah.
She fucks
She,
screw
she,
you.
she
Gets
always
the
was
fuck
probably
out of
the
there.
smartest character in the entire movie.
So were you like
Right.
were you like more hardcore 5 years ago when you watched it and like the gore didn't bother you, or
I don't know. I mean, gore's always kind of bothered me in movies, but I think I must
Maybe
have
she's
kind of
just become
blocked
more
that out.
sensible in
I
the
don't know.
intervening.
I
years.
think the time that we watched this movie has a lot to do with it. And once James has his say, and if you're done, Chelsea,
Yeah.
I'll bring in my own view on this.
Go
But
for it.
James, why don't you see if you can concisely tell us what you thought?
Well,
James
let's
James
see.
watched this movie and thought it was Jurassic Park.
There was this
He
time
was
where
really
there's
confused. There was a lot
dinosaurs.
to do with dish soap and
then he met the president,
dishes.
and then he said Shazam.
This movie was all about doing the dishes.
There was this plate.
Dude,
that
you
just
know
would
what's the
not
worst
get
part
clean.
about that? The arrangement of your house. If you're doing
Yeah.
the dishes, you are nowhere near the TV.
No, you can turn the TV so you can watch
That-
it while
that-
you're
that-
doing the
but you would
dishes.
at least have your back to it the whole time.
Well, you turn around. You turn the volume up and you turn
Did you
around.
That doesn't
watch any of
count.
this movie? Or did you just listen
Yes,
to it while
I
you
watched-
watched
Yeah. Did you
Like I
did
said,
did you
okay.
watch the audio version of this movie?
Yep. I watched the audiobook, which is completely different, by the way, guys.
Right.
So, no, I came in at the, okay, this is what I wanted to know from the beginning, when you said it's like Monty Python in the beginning.
Mhm.
I came in at the part where they were all sitting around the table and they were like all scarfing on food and shit and just like blah, 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 blah.
They're all
blah,
eating their
you know?
steak, yeah.
Yeah. And Guy Pearce is all disgusted because his steak looks bloody.
Right.
Bloody good.
Was that the part you were talking
That
about?
was not. I'm talking about the quotes at the beginning, and when it brings in the "eat me," it has like a sound effect
Yeah.
too. That's very
Wang!
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
really?
it is, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's where I came in.
Okay.
And I started legitimately watching the movies.
Hi, everybody. This is John. I just wanted to let you know what happened while we were recording this podcast. About halfway through, right when we ended here, a technical glitch happened, which caused us to have to shut everything down. That's why in the second half of this podcast, you're going to find that Eric is no longer with us, and he's been replaced mysteriously by a gentleman named Devin Butcher. So we apologize about the technical difficulties and pledge not to make these kind of mistakes in the future, or at least not in a way that you'll notice. So sit back and enjoy the rest of the show, and have a great day.
Because, I
Except
mean,
for the
that part
beginning.
at the beginning where they were eating meat was, like, right in the beginning.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how much of the
quotes
movie
were
were you
essential.
doing
The
dishes for?
For pretty much up to that point.
Okay.
Oh, so really only the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, the way you made it sound like you're doing dishes the first half of the movie.
No. Nope,
Okay,
paying
I take
attention.
it back.
Yeah.
None of the insults, just, my assumptions.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of rough because I was like ready to go into it before I got interrupted. So let's see. I liked it. I thought that the music was supremely inappropriate for most of the scenes. Like, okay, when they first revealed that, like, what's his name, the cannibal,
Mhm.
the
Robert
Wendigo.
Carlyle's character?
Robert Carlyle, when they first revealed that he was a cannibal and was like, did that cool bit where he's like, run, all of a sudden they started playing like the chase music from Raising Arizona,
Yeah.
and it was like the slowest, sloppiest chase I've probably ever seen in movies. And considering that this person is supposed to have like superhuman abilities, it was kind of lame.
He was keeping it, sporting?
Well, I mean, I can understand being sporting, but I mean, like, let's have him like, appearing and disappearing and shit like that. Like he's like a ninja or something.
So give it some sort of suspense.
Yeah,
He's not a ninja.
He's
a
pretty much has
cannibal.
Ninja powers. He's a fucking cannibal. He can run super fast. He can.
Cannibals aren't ninjas, and ninjas aren't cannibals.
He should possess ninja powers.
Yes.
Like,
They made it very clear that eating other people gives you superhuman abilities.
Yeah, but those
Yeah.
okay. But,
But
those superhuman
okay,
abilities
if
weren't,
the
like,
rest of the people are
ninja abilities.
lazy or almost dying people, you think it would be the equivalent of trying to fill your gas tank from 7 gas cans that only have like a cup of gas in it.
That
Think
was
about
it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm trying to unpack that one.
I'm trying to parse that out.
Yeah.
I just got up from a nap, considering where I was the last time. So
Chris is hitting you with algebraic
Yeah.
equations over there.
I'm
And then you have to
saying
figure
that.
out
Problems.
which time the train arrives.
Yeah.
And, if A hits there before B.
The train leaves from Chicago. How long
Right.
will it take for us to interrupt our podcast?
Yeah, and how long will it take Chris to get eaten?
Yeah. So, okay, Private Reich, I really liked him. I kind of find it annoying. Like, there are ways to do it, and this movie did it in the most annoying way. That is when you introduce a really badass character and then kill him off, like, right away.
Yeah.
Like, he should have been the...
He should have won the day.
Not won the day, but he
Shut up! Yes, he should.
He should
Chris
have
just
given
likes
the
his blue
he should have
eyes.
given Robert Carlyle the most amount of difficulty.
Well, it was either Robert Carlyle or Cliff. Those were his options. And when guns didn't work, he chose the Cliff.
Yeah, that was the only part, like, super power part that actually, like, it was in the movie. Was when he got shot and got back up. I mean, apart from, like, the wounds healing and shit fairly quickly. Like, I don't know. Halfway through it, like, after he got away and he got back to the camp, like, he fixed his leg and he got back to the camp. I was thinking that maybe there might be some sort of twist, and that he, Guy Pearce would, like, reveal himself to be, like, also a Wendigo, but, like, almost like Angel and Buffy, like, somewhat in control of his desires and shit, and he only eats bad people or something.
Okay, I mean, I see where you're going with that, but I mean, Guy Pearce. It was pretty well established in the beginning that Guy Pearce was pretty much a Wendigo.
yeah.
I mean, I figured that, like, they hinted at it. Like I said, I missed the first 5 minutes, so there was a part where he was, like, buried with a bunch of other people,
Yeah,
and yeah.
the
So I
blood
thought
goes
that
into
they
his-
hinted at it, but, like, I thought that there was going to be, like, a big reveal or something like that. And then later on, it was like, oh no, he ate people, and it's just like a
Okay,
thing now.
yeah, so James,
Yeah. What?
apparently you didn't watch the movie because they didn't reveal exactly what you thought. I mean, because if you remember, he's lying under all those people, and the blood
Yeah.
drips into his mouth, and then he, like, wins the war. Or that battle. He, like, gets
I
all
see
up,
it.
and he's like, I'm super strong, and... You remember?
Nope, that was the part I missed.
He
So there you go.
single-handedly captures, like, the fort or whatever.
Oh.
Why do you expect these people to watch the movies they're reviewing? This is ridiculous.
That would be like reading a comic and then telling people about it.
Yeah.
Well, let's say
Come
that
on. That's not going to happen.
if they actually kept that as a reveal, that would be, I think, probably a little cooler. Like, but
What?
maybe
What do you
not.
mean
I
if
don't
they
know.
kept that as a reveal? Oh, you mean if they held it back?
Yeah, if they held it back.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Wait, held back that he was?
yeah, that he actually had the experience of eating people in the past, and
Well,
actually does kinda have the
he
Wendigo
didn't actually eat
hunger.
anybody. It was just the blood
Human
thing.
blood.
But
So he's a
that's part of
vampire.
it, though.
Exactly.
That's kind of the thing, though. That's the only reason Robert Carlyle's character keeps him alive,
yeah.
because he says you're one of us. So if you didn't figure it out from there either, I also question if you actually watched the movie.
No, I figured it out. I was just saying that.
I pieced it together myself.
I did.
Because they told me on the television screen.
Like I said, when he came,
There were a bunch of clues throughout the movie,
Pretty much-
and then they told me,
pretty
and I
much
was
when he started
convinced.
digging into Private Reich, I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. So they're not going to like keep this as like some sort of twist. They're just gonna
It's a twist.
let him be. Yeah, what a twist. They're just gonna let him be.
I like
all
when
Wendigo
Reich
and
wakes up after like the whole falling thing and tries to like strangle the fuck out of him.
shit. Yeah.
That was my
Why,
favorite part
though?
of the
I
movie.
don't know why, but yeah.
If you just woke up, your body crippled in pain, but your arm still worked, and there was someone staring at you, I'm pretty sure you'd go after him too.
I don't know. If he was like the only guy that was actually trying to save me from
Nope.
insane cannibal dude.
Why would you not want to get directions from a Nazi? Because they're always going to tell you to go down the street and make the Third Reich.
Oh god.
You can edit that out.
Yeah.
He's Private Reich. I was thinking of that one the entire time.
Uh.
This is all I've been doing.
Yeah.
Just finding the setup for that.
Well, I'm pretty sure that it was like it was very much hinted at.
This
like,
was
not-
during the Civil War.
It was
No,
civil.
it was
it was
Mexican
post-
American.
Was it Mexican American?
Oh,
Mexican
Mexican American. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there were no Nazis, but he did try to give you that
Yeah.
Nazi atmosphere with that character.
Yeah.
There's lots of allusions to.
You didn't watch the movie. Shut up. I'm talking to Devin this time.
Eric says this is fucking whack.
Who'd have known he had a catchphrase already?
It's fucking whack. So, yeah. Other than that, I guess at the end was kind of lame. I expected.
You didn't like the bro on pro bear hug?
Well, I mean that's okay.
Bear
So
clamp?
they have superhuman abilities. If you're gonna
Throwdown
go
showdown.
if you're gonna go superhuman abilities, just fucking go all the way. You know?
So you wanted them to go Super Saiyan?
Yeah, I wanted to fucking punch them down like
you
pillars.
didn't want them,
and-
stabbing each other repeatedly and like stabbing each other in the
That-
back, and then
that was
collapsing
okay.
a roof on one of them, but he totally survived. Then
You wanted the battle
luring
scene
him
for the end
into
of The Matrix 3.
I don't know, not that ridiculous. Just like obviously you couldn't do that in like a frontier like
Suddenly he knocks him through a building and then back into the woods.
yeah. I could imagine. Okay, like it was a tiny roof. I think I could survive that.
Yeah,
roof
that's what
collapsing
I
on
was
me.
thinking when it happened. I'm like, okay,
If an entire
that barely
building fell on him
collapsed.
and he punched his way out, then I would be like, cool. I'm on.
Or
board.
like a mountain.
Not
They
a
had
mountain, a
mountains.
mountain.
I'm just saying they could have like punched each other through a mountain. That would have been pretty
All
cool.
of a sudden it went fucking Goku versus Superman levels of extreme. I'm not looking for that level of extreme. I'm looking more for like Captain America versus Winter Soldier. You know.
Like, I feel like that kind of makes sense for them being able to be trapped.
Yeah, they've
in the
never
bear
seen
trap
these
is that
movies.
They've never seen these movies.
They've
didn't
never seen
realize
these movies.
that
They
was
didn't
on
realize that was an option.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, you could do some cool things with like some very thick wood beams and shit like that, and have them breaking or them throwing
you
into
don't,
them
you don't
and
think
shit.
that would have
My problem is like
thrown the whole entire like mood off?
No, not for me. I mean, the music threw the mood off enough for me as it
Yeah.
was.
I'm actually getting a little sick of movies like, oh, these people are essentially superhuman, so let's bash them through a wall. They're totally fine, and they get up and come back at him.
Yeah.
Like, all right, if they're totally fine, you bashing them into a wall. Why did you pick to bash them against a wall? Why not find like a rock, like a boulder, like a mountain,
It
something
doesn't-
that's not going to give.
That
So
does
like
not
all of the
nearly
give
look as cool.
happens in their body. My point is not looking for cool, looking cool. I want results.
Well, see, that's kind of
Because that just means that just means the fight keeps going. Yeah, we got results. They bear hugged.
Well, the thing is that what you got was two equally powerful individuals that were fighting, which looked a lot like two very frail, feeble men pushing each other around. I'm saying I could have used a little more cool, a little more intense at the last end fight scene. And quite frankly, if you're going to go superpowers, in my book, since I love superpowers, go all the way. The bear trap, I didn't quite necessarily
That was a big bear trap. I'm just saying that was like a bear's version of Sasquatch size bear trap.
Yeah. And not only that, like they alluded to it, it was on like the wall earlier, and then he stuck it on the floor to be like, haha, I tricked you with the bear trap. Didn't really work. I mean, you can't necessarily be like, oh, I'm going to trip you onto this bear trap. Oh, you didn't expect a bear trap to be on the bear trap I tripped you on. I don't know. Like, it seemed like they were trying to go for like some sort of something at the end there. It just didn't. I didn't seem to get anything that I was expecting. I'll tell you this: when she was like, "Oh, the only way to kill a Wendigo was to give of yourself," I thought that they might have done. It's old now because it's been done a million times. Where like the protagonist like poisons himself and then allows himself to be eaten by the bad guy, thus killing the bad guy.
Transcendence that we just watched today.
Jeez, you even watch movies, Chris?
He's right.
Literally,
about Transcendence, not James.
It would have been like I expected that in that movie, considering that it's old, to have it like if they remade that movie and had that ending, it'd be tired because that shit has been done enough.
Yeah. Well, okay. Since we all seem to have differing opinions about Ravenous.
Oh, that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, so, all right, I'll be fair. Most of you guys didn't like it. Even for Chelsea, it didn't quite hold up on repeated viewing.
No, I will say this. I enjoyed most of it. I just didn't... I thought the end kind of fell flat for me.
Right. Well, for me personally, I know I last week I said that this was one of my favorite movies, and it was. But I have to admit, I too, on a repeated viewing, did not necessarily find the magic that I found on the first viewing of this film.
Oh, it's magic.
Yeah.
You know.
We've already talked about the horrible editing and the inappropriate music, so I won't really mention that. And I'll tell you, after kind of... All right, I'm going to admit something of myself here that I'm not sure that I really wanted to say this early in the podcast, but I have watched Once Upon a Time and enjoyed it.
Hey, there is
You talking
no
about the
shame
show?
in that, man.
Yeah,
No
I'm talking
shame
about
in
the
that.
show.
You blasphemer.
I like the show too. I mean,
I hate you both.
It's not the worst thing.
I should say though that like the first two seasons, I think were a little bit better.
I hate that show strictly on
It just
principle.
started getting. It's like they just kept coming up with reasons to continue the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty god-awful now, but, when it comes to the why. But the thing is, the point that I'm trying to get to is that now that I've seen, I guess for lack of a better word, Robert Carlyle's wacky face.
Oh shit, he plays Rumpelstiltskin in
Yes.
this,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
and he
Okay.
has like when you go back in time and you see the old Rumpelstiltskin, he's all like crazy,
Serious.
kooky, evil. It gives me Ravenous flashbacks. Because I don't know why, but one of the things that just made my day when I first saw this movie was the part where Robert Carlyle, it's like during the first reveal, he does like this little dance.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
right.
cool.
Yeah, where he's just kind of looks like he's about to have a fit.
Yeah,
Is the truth of it.
like,
And then he digs up like the knife or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he makes all these crazy sounds and
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
all,
that was
like-
really funny.
Yeah.
Man, it was goofy.
it was goofy.
I just was totally confused. I'm like, all right, why isn't he just attacking him?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's digging.
Yep.
This is not attacking.
You know,
Look how
sometimes
he's
in
got
the
a
movie, a well-placed dance makes things better.
Yep.
Reservoir Dogs. Probably the best part of that whole damn movie.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's honestly like what I was, like what I'm trying to get at is that I'm a huge horror fan. I'm a gigantic horror fan. I love horror movies, and one of the reasons that I love them so much is because they can be genre expanding. I mean, even though they're classified as horror, they're not just sci-fi. They're not just comedy. They're not just drama. They're not one thing most of the time, or at least the good ones aren't.
Right.
When you watch the good ones, you've got a real mixture of.
But John, you
emotions.
know what? You know what can also fall into that same, that same ability? Porn.
Okay, porn, I'll give you that. I guess
I will concede on this.
but here's before we get. That's thank God we're restricting to Netflix.
Chris is proposing a radical change. For the premise.
I'm just saying, I love how derailed
Yeah,
I
see,
got
that would
this.
be completely different for me, because then it would be like, I've only watched 5 minutes of this film.
Okay, but I mean, so Ravenous, it came out at a time where it was.
That's a
obviously-
great porn name too.
Yes. But I mean,
Sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
No, it came out at a time when, I mean, first off, it has like we said before, it has a lot of star power.
Yeah.
And two, it came out at a time when horror movies were kind of stuck in a rut.
Oh, yeah.
And
the big one at the time was Scream, the Scream series.
And Scream.
Yeah, why do people
even,
keep
like,
defending
on the-
Scream?
Because it was on the edge. It just the same reason that a lot of people defend Ravenous is because it broke the genre. Like, the genre was really in a real bad place at the time. Like, we were getting... I mean, the stuff that was coming out in theaters was like... Jason
Leprechaun
X.
8 in the hood.
No, actually, that would be awesome. Leprechaun's Revenge wasn't even really a thing. Without movies like Ravenous, Leprechaun's Revenge wouldn't happen. Or Leprechaun in the Hood.
True. I suppose. Yeah, giving the ability to play a little bit fast and loose and not stick to. All right, it has to be intense and thriller the entire time.
Exactly.
Gave us the Leprechaun's Revenge, where it's a horror film with patches of comedy.
Yep. Ravenous very much, came at a time. It may not have been the movie we deserved. It was the movie we needed.
Shut up. No. But to be fair, there are a bunch of late 90s movies that I guess part of it was, for me at least, at that age, part of it was just, there were a lot of kind of somewhat more experimental, I don't mean that in a weird way, movies coming out that we remember because they were just slightly out of their typical genre or the typical film. Well, I mean, like American Beauty, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those movies. Like,
another movie.
I've
that does not
rewatched.
hold up.
I like. Yes, I
really?
like that movie.
I like that movie.
I don't think it really holds up at all. But like at the time, like, wow, this movie's brilliant, because like I said, it was a little bit different. And I think that's kind of where Ravenous is fitting in place.
Yep.
Especially after John's, testimony.
Yep.
It's one of those weird things that, I guess it's, you can't go home. And plus, because they were the progenitors of, that whole movement, I guess, that we've become a little bit too open to these, types of films. So it just falls. It, at the time,
spoiled.
Right. Well, it at the time was really big. It's like rewatching The Matrix. It's like, okay, it's not a great movie.
No.
But you realize what it caused. Like the visual and, action and special effects that were, that most action, sci-fi, adventure, almost all movies with anything in the special effects budget do today is kind of comes back to The Matrix,
Or The Last Starfighter.
Last Starfighter, or Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
People
No,
have been doing.
I get you.
I'm not saying any one is responsible. I'm just saying you have these movies that at the time were fantastic. Going back, fuck that movie.
So the ultimate verdict on Ravenous is pretty much it's a good movie. A lot of us had parts that we liked, parts that we didn't. But really, honestly, it does not hold up to repeated viewings, and really, it does kind of rely on sort of a situational, contextual magic that might not be there for you anymore. But it does have some great lines.
Yeah.
And
Not eat
everybody
me, though.
quotes the line from the movie. That was sneaky. You
You gotta say that out loud.
I thought that was just awful. Like watching that is the one part of the movie that made me cringe watching it again. As I was like, I
Honestly,
just can't believe that was the
Like
line. They
I
came up
wouldn't,
with.
I wouldn't quote that part, but like when he was saying that, like you could see he was about to say something, and I'm like, what is he gonna say? Was that clever, you bastard? And they go, that was sneaky. I'm like,
That was
really?
sneaky.
When did he say
John,
that?
Carlisle said it.
When he got him in the bear trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I got the impression that it was like some sort of trick. It's not it's a bear trap. It's not a trick. You don't clever your way into a bear trap, or clever your enemy into a bear trap.
I beg to
Especially
differ.
with you in it.
I beg to differ because Guy Pearce did it.
He did. He managed. Yes. And I mean, that line, it really keeps with the rest of the movie and being kind of like goofy, but I don't know. I definitely rolled my eyes.
All right, so it is now time, before we leave, to choose the movie for next week. So, last time we got a little involved. We had you guys reenact a scene. This time we're going to go with something a little bit simpler.
Oh, good.
Yep. We are going to ask... Now, here's the deal. Obviously, as Eric can't be here for the second half of the show, his suggestion is going to be the default one.
When we all fail, it's Eric's choice.
Yeah. Which, I don't want to see that happen. So here's the question.
I shouldn't have told you the choice. I should have dropped it on you.
You shouldn't have told me the choice. Yeah, because I hate movies, and I really probably will hate that one. So, folks, and Devin, you know what? We'll even let you chime in.
Hell yeah.
Here's the deal, though. Whatever you pick has to be on Netflix Instant Stream.
I already know my movie. Don't worry about it.
All
It's
right,
going to be
deal.
a rom-com.
And if you pick a movie, it also means you have to participate.
I've already seen the
in
movie.
pod.
I'm ready for the pod. I can do it right now.
All right, so here's the
And
question.
it's an actually good movie, so there.
All right. Here's the question. Which celebrity, if you had to, which celebrity would you eat and why? So, who wants to go first?
Oh, I'll totally go first on that.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Robert Carlyle, of course.
For the irony?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Who's next?
I think we're thinking here a little bit.
Okay.
I took the obvious choice there.
Yeah.
You did.
well.
You did. I did not intend this to be this hard.
I think that I would eat Sean Bean. Just because he was bound to die anyway. That it just makes sense.
Solid.
Sean
Jon Snow.
Boromir.
Yep. Game of Thrones.
Ned from Game
Ned.
of Thrones.
Yeah.
No, Ned. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ned's. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Well, I don't watch the show, so there you go.
I think I'd eat Samuel L. Jackson.
Really? So you could listen to him scream as you ate him?
I feel like in the honor of Ravenous, if you're going to absorb the energy of an individual by the person you eat, I would then be a badass motherfucker.
Well, I haven't seen Ravenous, and that would make me change my idea because I wouldn't want to eat Sean Bean because I would just absorb his ability to die.
Too late, you already picked.
Damn it, I'm gonna die.
Also, I would be in the same group as sharks and raptors.
Boy, looks like Chris is the front runner right now.
And Snakes tried to be in that club.
But he was tired of them, being on his plane.
All right, James.
I think that if Chris absorbed the essence of Samuel L. Jackson, all it would change is he would just say motherfucker a lot more.
It's true.
Like every other sentence would just be like, man, what are these motherfuckers doing? Dude, why'd you have to eat Sam Jackson? You've been saying motherfucker left and right.
There are no snakes on your planes. So I would choose to eat Catherine Zeta-Jones because her vagina gives you throat cancer. And if I ate somebody, I wouldn't want to live with myself.
Yeah, that was
You know what the funniest
James,
part
you're
of that
actually
is
banned
that
from choosing
you're
a movie
the
for the next 2
only
weeks.
one that found that funny.
Wow.
But you not only find it funny, you find it apparently hilarious. You can't even breathe right now. And I hope you heard, John, you are revoked, have your rights revoked for the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so right now, Chris, I'm thinking it's you.
God damn it. Don't give it to him. He'll do something terrible.
If you could see the choices that he's going through.
They're all
right now.
really bad.
Well, Chris, you did get to choose. You've already chosen 2 movies already.
Okay. Well, to be fair, that was not my fault. Okay,
And one of them was Good Burger.
No, that was John.
That was John's.
That was John's fault. I will never
Damn
take
it,
credit for
John.
that.
I did that to them.
I had to watch Good Burger again.
You watched like half of it.
I
If
couldn't
even.
deal with the whole thing.
All right. John, I need you to pick a number from 1 to 100.
I'm going to pick 73.
Why did I know it would be in the 70s?
I don't know. Maybe you're psychic.
Fine, we're watching Sharknado.
Oh, we are watching Sharknado.
If it was going to be any of Chris's movies, that was the only one I could deal with.
Really? Because Grabbers is really
Nope.
good.
Okay, well, you heard it here first, folks. Looks like... Oh, God.
Sharknado.
Yeah, Sharknado next week. Well, thank you for joining us this week, and we will see you next week with Sharknado.
It is a
Was that your
shark
impression?
tornado.
That's my shark and a tornado impression.
You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, or directly from our website. For social media, you can contact us via Twitter at Jon Hates Movies, or through our Facebook page, Jon Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. You'll have an equal chance of getting chosen for next week's movie review. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear James say...
Oh, are we deep frying at my place?